Good afternoon. So Rudy and I this afternoon will be talking about the first part of our financial plan, and that's really to cover what we've been doing to continue to help our customers, as well as what the financial implications are. So you'll see here our objectives and takeaways, and it's really just been how have we lived people first during COVID-19, as well as how we've helped support and be here for our customers. We'll talk through how we're continuing to monitor the landscape, both internal and external, and then what those financial implications are. And you'll see the agenda here matches kind of what I just spoke about. Here for our guiding pillars and our foundation, the main focus for our presentation will really be honing in on customer affordability as well as maintaining the financial responsibility foundation. So to start, it's about living people first. And during COVID-19, it was important for us to make sure that we were still out in the community, still available for customers, but at the same time keeping employees and customers safe. So people first looked a little bit different, and it sounded a little bit different through the past year and going into this year. And you can see here the pictures of us having screening stations at our walk-ins, but we continue to be available for our customers. We also pivoted some of our employees to make outbound phone calls and really find ways to connect with the community and see how we can help. It was about understanding and finding ways for our customers to recover. We know through customers' recovery and our community's recovery, that's what's going to ultimately help us to recover. So a little bit more about our customer outreach program. You've heard us talk about the customer outreach resource effort that we did, and that's the number of customers that we've reached out to, and really it was about doing things a little bit differently in terms of connecting with them from an empathetic perspective, but also saying, you know, how are you? How are you doing through all of this? We're here for you, and we really do care, so tell us what's going on and let us help you find some resources that might help with whatever your circumstance is. We listen to each customer individually, and then we talk through not just utility assistance, but we also helped identify, customers would say things like, you know what, unfortunately I just lost a family member to COVID, and so we would help find financial assistance for burial cost, or you know what, I just don't know how I'm going to pay rent, so we'd help connect them with the different rent services out there. It really was just about listening to customers, and we have one of the quotes up here from our customers, but overall what we heard is that it was making a difference for both our employees and our customers to connect and find ways to help them. Next, you'll see some of the support options that we have available for our customers, and highlighted some of the key ones. We have for customers who self-identify as senior citizens or needing some type of critical care, they can enroll into billing programs that will provide them with additional time to pay their bills. We also have assistance programs like REAP for income-qualified customers who may need some additional support on their monthly bills, as well as the new CPS Energy Angels that we launched, which allows for customers to pay it forward. So if they know a specific family in need, they can call us up and we can help them make a payment on that other customer's behalf. In addition to that, we have a variety of payment support options. So customers can call us up and say, hey, I need a couple extra months to pay my bill, and we provide flexible installment plans for them. We'll meet them where they're at. If they need an additional month, we'll help set up an installment plan for that. Some customers don't need additional months, they just need a few more days, and so we also set up payment options to extend their due date and give them the time that they tell us they need. But overall, it's just about listening to customers. They can go online, call us, or come to our walk-in centers, and we'll find whatever we can and whatever resources and support and options that we have to fit their individual needs. This next slide is really about our employees and everything that they've done to show their resiliency. Our employees really have stepped up to support everything for the flexible path and the flexible path power bundle. We had the headquarters move here during the pandemic, and it was about staying safe, like I mentioned, to not just be available for our customers, but we had some key audits like through NERC or with the Railroad Commission that our employees had to help get us through. And so on top of everything else that we all had to deal with externally, these are just some of the internal components and challenges that our employees faced. And through all of this, they were still available for our customers and our community. And then here you'll see the pathway that we've taken. Shortly after the pandemic, we did, in March of last year, suspend disconnects, and as you know, we began waiving our late fees. Then right after that, in June, we kicked off that core outreach program that I had mentioned. And as of the end of this March, we had called over 69,000 customers and identified over $21 million in assistance for our customers. And that's through things like REAP or the different agency partners that we have. So that really brings us to where we're at today, to have a decision point on, and that discussion on reinstituting disconnects and how and when might be the right time. So with that, I'll hand it over to Rudy Garza to talk through our landscape as well as the financial implications.
Thank you, Deanna, and thank you very much for having me here today to all the board members. So Deanna covered, when we're monitoring the landscape, thinking about how to proceed forward in our return to normal operations as it relates to disconnects, we really look at this from two perspectives. We look at it from the perspective Deanna just talked about, helping our customers, and then analyzing all the external factors that help us know that we're making a good decision. What does the impacts of COVID look like on our community? What do our economic indicators look like? And what are the financial impacts to the company? And so really, it's a combination of our customer view and all those factors that will help us make a good decision as we move forward. In terms of health and economic inputs, we really overlaid here the impact of COVID-19 to the San Antonio community. And as you can see, it's been very cyclical, but it certainly is trending in the right direction. All the good work that the mayor and our county judge and the community has done to get folks vaccinated and to do the things that we need to do to socially distance and to pay attention to those health indicators really has moved the COVID impacts and trends in the right direction. And then you overlay on top of that the economic indicators, and primarily here we've shown the economic indicator related to unemployment. But certainly when you talk to a lot of small businesses today, there are a lot of small businesses that are starting to have trouble finding employees because employees are slowly but surely going back to work, specifically in the restaurant and our hotel industry. They're really having trouble finding employees to come back to work. So when you stack both of these on top of one another, certainly our community is trending in a better direction than we've seen over the last 12 months. Then we look at industry trends related to disconnects, and there are really two locations in Texas that have yet to determine when we're going to reinstitute disconnects. But most of the utilities, the public power utilities, the co-ops in our general vicinity have either never stopped disconnecting customers, have gone back to disconnecting customers, or have announced that they're going to start disconnecting customers again. So this is one of the just industry benchmarks that we've done to try to make sure that we understand what's happening around us. We start looking at some of the financial implications to CPS Energy, and in this on this particular slide, we show just overall customers, account status, and associated dollar amounts. So as you can see, 57% of our customers, roughly $136 million are current. We've got 28%, $65 million that are at least 30 days past due, and we've got another 15% or $36 million, roughly 83,000 customers that would be eligible for disconnect today if we were disconnecting. So this is one of the financial views that we wanted to show our Board of Trustees today. If we break those numbers down into residential and commercial, and this is by revenue, not necessarily by customer count, the amount of revenue from a residential standpoint, we're showing that 6% of revenue is over 30 days past due for residential customers, and roughly 19% or $17 million is 30 days past due from a commercial standpoint. We also wanted to show you a look that just showed the average balances and how they have grown since the start of the pandemic. And as you can see here, I'll just give you the 2 bullet points from beginning and end. We've got $268 is what customers owed us on average March of 20. And we are now up to $599 in March of 2021. So the longer that we go without disconnecting customers, the higher we expect this balance to continue to grow. So as we move forward, there are a few things that we wanted to talk to the board about with regard to just being creative about how we think about these decision points looking ahead. Certainly, we continue to work with our city and county partners to have access to federal funds. Paula has said many times in the past, we don't get direct allocation of CARES funding from the federal government. So we have to work with our governmental partners who do get access to those funds to work on programs that will help our customers pay down some of these balances. As Deanna talked about earlier, we have found customers somewhere in the neighborhood of $22 million of assistance up to now. We cannot turn a switch on tomorrow and just start disconnecting customers again. We're going to have to phase in the approach over time. And so how we think about those phases, who do you start with? Roughly of the 73,000 customers or so that we have tried to call, we have been in contact with over 60% of those customers, which means there's 40% of customers we've tried to contact that just will not connect with us. And so we really want to make sure that anybody, as we move forward, who has an opportunity to connect with us, we'll help you, put you on payment plans. There's no reason for customers to get disconnected if they'll just make contact with us. And so there will be an approach we talk about that will include phases of bringing our operations back into normal operations as it relates to disconnects. We've got to continue communicating not only about programs and services, but also about when we might intend to start disconnecting again, and give customers as much advance notice as we possibly can, and then tell them what our approach is going to be. We want to be transparent with our customers about what to expect once we start to begin moving in that direction. And then, as Deanna also mentioned, we will continue promoting our REAP program, which is the best way for customers to help our communities to donate to REAP. And then if you've got a cousin or an aunt or uncle or a friend that you want to directly help, we did begin the Energy Angels program, which allows for customer-to-customer assistance, which we feel is a great step in the right direction.